Hello, we're back with another Dead Cells update. In fact, this is the 30th one, which is just a crazy milestone for us. In this update, we'll be adding the long-awaited Panchaku and a new Bobby outfit to go with it, a ton of rebalancing on weapons and items, reworking the legendary system to make it more intuitive and interesting, Soul Knight content, and we're finally letting you pet your pets. After running through the new content, I'll also speak a little bit about the future of Dead Cells, Motion Twin, and Evil Empire. Let's get into it. After numerous requests following the animated Bad Seed trailer, we're finally adding the Panchaku to Dead Cells, with a new outfit inspired by these same trailers. We already had a Bobby skin, but now the iconic pink flamehead is here to make it complete. The Panchaku is literally two frying pans tied together with a piece of string, which crits on enemies facing you, and has a slick combo with hits behind and all around you. It can also reflect bombs and projectiles in the middle of the combo. The reason that it looks so smooth is because it's the first weapon in Dead Cells that can move independently. So that means that usually when the Beheaded uses an item, it actually can't move on its own. The whips, for example, are actually just a well done FX, not a fully fledged animation, but the Panchaku is. So that's a nice little bit of trivia for you there. Moving on to the legendary item change, which we've wanted to do for a while. For those who don't know, legendary items are the gold coloured ones you can find dotted around the island. In the old system, their damage would scale off of your two highest stats, which wasn't really intuitive with the stat system because your average player would usually spread points between the off-colour stats to gain maximum health, as you'd expect. But the legendary system meant that you would need to put points on only one of the stats that you're not using to get the maximum power from legendaries. Basically, it wasn't very clear. It was also just not very interesting. The only thing that legendaries gave you was more damage, which, yeah, more damage is always good, but we have ideas to make it even better. So, to replace the old system, we're introducing legendary affixes. Affixes are the extra powers you get on your items, like 60% damage to a burning target, that kind of thing. These legendary affixes will have a synergy with the item's gameplay. This way, they'll be making legendaries stronger than your typical weapon by adding an extra complementary gameplay element, instead of just upping the damage. We've created a few brand new affixes, as well as using some existing ones. There are a lot of legendary affixes, because obviously we've got a ton of weapons, so I won't list them all here. If you want to read the whole list, go check out the patch notes on our site. The link is included in the video description. My favourites personally are Death Root, which roots enemies in an area around you when you kill something, which is crazy good for crowd control. Cascading Tomb, which makes the tombstone's doom effect trigger around dead enemies, so it just goes, as the word says, in a cascade. And Run Speed on Kill, which obviously boosts your speed after each kill, turning you into a speedrunner of death. That works really, really well with the Snake Fangs, if I could just recommend something to you. Legendaries will always roll their legendary affix, and they cannot be removed, re-rolled, or replaced. Also, just to be clear, we've removed the double stat scaling system which I was talking about earlier, although legendaries will remain colourless in terms of scaling, which means that they scale off whichever of your stats has the highest value. Another major part of the update is rebalancing. It's been over a year since our last major rebalance of the item pool, and since then we've had new items and mutations from the Everyone Is Here and the Break the Bank updates, plus the Queen and the Seed DLC. So there's a few imbalances here and there that need fixing. So to fix this, we're making changes to a load of weapons and skills to rebalance the item pool. So, why do we do rebalancing? This isn't a multiplayer game after all. Well, we need to do this to keep the variety element strong. A good roguelite should offer you difficult choices. If you're going to take the same 2 or 3 weapons every time because they're OP, then you're going to get bored very, very quickly. And we don't want you to get bored of Dead Cells. That's why we need to bring items to the same power level, or as close as possible, to encourage players to explore and use more of the item pool. Again, I'm not going to list them all here because it just wouldn't be interesting for you guys, but like the legendary affixes, you can follow the link in the video description to see all the changes that we've made. We're also introducing content from Soul Knight, another roguelite that already has Dead Cells content in it, so now we're returning the favour. The magic bow fires 5 slow-moving arrows, which make up for their lack of speed by homing into their nearest enemy. If an enemy has already been hit by one of the arrows, the next arrow which hits it will do more damage, and then more damage, and so on and so on. The Knight outfit adds the pint-sized adventurer and his oversized head as an option. On this subject, we have reworked the outfit selection UI. It is now a grid displaying the icons of all the unlocked outfits, as well as an in-game preview. We think this is a much cleaner way of figuring out which outfit you like to wear, and hopefully you agree. The last bit of content we're adding is letting you pet the pets. In transitions between biomes, you just need to long press the interact button to show some love to your latest companion. You won't get any benefit from this, it's just something fun for us to add. Unfortunately, the owl was a little bit too awkward to code this for, so unfortunately it will never know the loving touch of the beheaded. So that's it for the content, but there's a bit more to say on Dead Cells in general. You might have seen a roadmap we released a few weeks ago. With this roadmap, we wanted to kill off the belief that, with our latest DLC, The Queen and the Sea, we were at or near the end of Dead Cells' lifetime, which is not the case at all. We're reasonably confident on the release times and content, but there's no guarantees in game development, so please don't take anything as guaranteed. So, following this update, we'll be adding a boss rush area. The basic idea here is to let you fight all the bosses you've met so far, one after the other, with unlockables to win as you progress. There should be a few different modes in the boss rush to expand the challenge beyond this central idea, and we'll potentially be adding a scoreboard to add a bit of friendly competition. Again, this is all work in progress, so some of this might change, some stuff might get added, some might get removed, so don't take anything here as set in stone. Before Christmas, there'll be yet another update dropping, but this one is still under wraps, so you have to wait a little bit longer to know what's in this one. Heading into 2023, and we won't be slowing down at all. In fact, we'll be stepping things up. It's going to be by far our biggest year since the version 1.0 launch, and we're thrilled to show you what we've been cooking up behind the scenes. What we're getting at here is that we're very much in the midlife of Dead Cells, so prepare yourselves for more Dead Cells content. The fact that we released this roadmap, saying that we were going to be releasing more content, also raised the question of whether there'll actually ever be any new games coming out, because Dead Cells just keeps getting all the attention. The short answer is yes, there will be. Some of you will know this, but Motion Twin, the creators of Dead Cells, have not been working on Dead Cells directly for years. They retain creative control over Dead Cells, and have final approval on every addition Evil Empire makes to the game. Who are Evil Empire? Well, we're a separate studio made of ex-Motion Twin developers and some new blood, and we took over development of Dead Cells in 2019. Motion Twin have been working on their next project since then, but we all still work in the same office, so it's a pretty close relationship. And Evil Empire, we're also working on our own projects too, but Dead Cells remains the priority for us. So basically, don't worry, new games are coming. Thanks for listening, and if anyone is going to PAX West in September, we'll be there to show off a sneak preview of the upcoming Boss Rush update. Have a good one!